Everything you knew about love and sex is wrong. That's right, most of us have been approaching love and our sexual energy in a way that's been holding us back rather than helping us thrive. Today, we're diving deep into the ancient Stoic secrets of sexual transmutation, how to harness that powerful energy to live a life of wisdom, creativity, and success. If you've ever felt stuck, unfulfilled, or just wondered if there's more to life, this video is going to blow your mind. Ready to unlock your true potential? Let's get into it. Part 1. Understanding sexual energy. Alright, let's start with the basic sexual energy. We tend to think of it as just a physical urge, something that comes and goes, but what if I told you it's much more than that? Sexual energy is literally the life force that drives all creation. Think about it, everything from the blooming of a flower to the birth of a child starts with this primal, creative force. It's the spark that makes life possible, and it's flowing through each and every one of us. But here's the thing, most of us are wasting this energy without even realizing it. We get caught up in instant gratification, in satisfying these urges as soon as they arise. But what if we could channel that energy into something greater? That's where the concept of sexual transmutation comes in. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is sexual transmutation? The word transmutation itself means to change or transform something into another form. So when we talk about sexual transmutation, we're talking about taking that raw, powerful sexual energy and converting it into other forms of energy like creative energy, intellectual energy, or even spiritual energy. It's about using that same force that drives us to procreate to instead fuel our passions, our work, and our personal growth. This concept isn't new, it's been around for centuries, practiced by some of the greatest minds in history. But perhaps no one understood it better than the Stoics. Part 2. Stoic philosophy and sexual transmutation. Now, let's dive into the world of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics were all about mastering the self, about finding strength and wisdom within rather than seeking it from the outside world. They believed that true happiness comes from virtue, living in accordance with nature and reason rather than being swayed by external circumstances or fleeting emotions. When it comes to love and sex, the Stoics had a pretty unique perspective. For them, love wasn't just a romantic or sexual feeling, it was a choice, an action. They saw it as something neutral, something that could be good or bad depending on how it was used. The key was to approach it with wisdom and self-control, rather than being swept away by passion. Take Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors. He believed that love, like all emotions, should be approached with reason. He taught that we should love others not for what they can give us, but for who they are, and that true love is about helping each other grow in virtue. Marcus wasn't against love or sex, but he believed they should be approached with the same discipline and mindfulness that we apply to every other aspect of life. So, how does sexual transmutation fit into this? Well, the Stoics believed that all desires, including sexual desire, could be transformed into something higher. By practicing self-control and mindfulness, they taught that we could take the energy that drives our sexual urges and use it to fuel our pursuit of wisdom, creativity, and excellence in all areas of life. Think of it like this. Instead of letting your sexual energy pull you in every direction, you harness it, direct it, and use it to power your personal growth. It's about turning that raw, primal energy into something constructive, something that aligns with your higher goals and values. Part 3. Practicing sexual transmutation in daily life. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually do it? Good question. Let's break it down into some practical steps you can start using today. Cultivate self-awareness. The first step to mastering sexual transmutation is becoming aware of your sexual energy. This means tuning into your body and your mind, noticing when those desires arise, and recognizing the power behind them. It's about being present with your feelings, rather than acting on impulse. Self-awareness is key here, because it allows you to make conscious choices about how to direct your energy. When you feel that sexual urge, instead of immediately seeking to satisfy it, pause. Take a moment to acknowledge it, and then decide how you want to use that energy. Are you going to let it dissipate, or are you going to channel it into something productive? Mindful meditation and visualization. One of the most powerful tools for sexual transmutation is meditation. By practicing mindfulness, you can learn to control your thoughts and direct your energy where you want it to go. Start by sitting quietly, closing your eyes, and taking deep breaths. As you breathe in, imagine that you're drawing in energy from the universe. As you breathe out, visualize that energy moving through your body, gathering in your core. Now, here's the crucial part. Imagine that energy moving upward from your sexual center to your heart, your mind, or even your hands if you're about to start creating something. Picture it transforming into creative energy, intellectual energy, or whatever you need at that moment. The more you practice this visualization, the more natural it will become, and the easier it will be to redirect your sexual energy whenever you need to. Physical activity and exercise. Another great way to channel sexual energy is through physical activity. Exercise is a fantastic outlet for excess energy, and it's also a way to train your body and mind to work together. Whether you're lifting weights, running, swimming, or practicing yoga, you can use these activities to transform your sexual energy into physical strength and endurance. Next time you feel that surge of sexual energy, Instead of seeking release, hit the gym, go for a run, or even just do some push-ups as you work out. Focus on channeling that energy into your movements. You'll find that not only does this help burn off excess energy, but it also leaves you feeling more focused, more powerful, and more in control. Creative outlets. If you're someone who loves to create, whether it's writing, painting, playing music, or anything else, sexual transmutation can be a game changer for your creative process. Sexual energy is inherently creative, so it makes sense that channeling it into artistic endeavors would yield incredible results. The next time you feel a wave of sexual energy, instead of acting on it, grab your guitar, your paintbrush, or your pen. Pour that energy into your art and watch how it brings your work to life in new and unexpected ways. Many great artists, writers, and musicians have used sexual transmutation to fuel their creativity. Why not give it a try yourself? Developing patience and discipline. Sexual transmutation isn't something you master overnight. It takes time, practice, and a lot of patience. But here's the good news: every time you consciously choose to redirect your energy, you're strengthening your willpower and your discipline. And these are skills that will serve you in every area of your life. Don't get discouraged if it's tough at first. Remember, this is a practice, and like any practice, it gets easier the more you do it. Start small, maybe by simply pausing and breathing the next time you feel aroused. Gradually, as you build your self-awareness and self-control, you'll find it easier to direct that energy in the way you want. Part 4. Applying Stoic principles to modern relationships. Now, let's talk about how all of this applies to your relationships. The Stoics had a lot to say about love and relationships, and their wisdom is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. One of the core ideas in Stoic philosophy is that true happiness comes from within. It's not something you can get from another person. This doesn't mean that relationships aren't important. They are, but it does mean that we shouldn't look to others to complete us or make us too. Instead, we should focus on cultivating our own inner peace and virtue, and then bring that into our relationships. So how do you apply this to your love life? Start by focusing on what you can control: your own actions, your own thoughts, and your own emotions. You can't control your partner or anyone else, but you can control how you respond to them. Approach your relationships with the same mindfulness and discipline that you apply to sexual transmutation. For example, when conflicts arise, instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back. Pause, breathe, and then respond with calmness and clarity. Remember, love is a choice. It's not just something you feel, but something you do. Choose to act with kindness, respect, and compassion even when it's difficult. And when it comes to sex in your relationships, apply the principles of sexual transmutation. Instead of seeing sex as just a physical act, view it as an opportunity to connect on a deeper level, to share your energy and strengthen your bond. Practice mindfulness during sex and focus on the emotional and spiritual connection as much as the physical. By approaching love and sex with Stoic wisdom, you can create relationships that are not only fulfilling but also help you grow as a person. Part 5. The benefits of sexual transmutation. So what can you expect to gain from practicing sexual transmutation? The benefits are numerous, and they go far beyond just improving your love life. Enhance creativity. As we've discussed, sexual energy is inherently creative. When you learn to channel that energy into your work, you'll find that your creativity blossoms. Whether you're an artist, a writer, a musician, or simply someone who loves to create, sexual transmutation can help you tap into a deeper well of inspiration and bring your ideas to life. Increased focus and clarity. Sexual energy can be distracting. Anyone who has ever been caught up in a moment of desire knows how it can cloud your mind. But when you learn to transmute that energy, something amazing happens. Your focus sharpens, and your mind becomes clearer. Instead of being pulled in 100 different directions by your desires, you can channel that energy into a laser-like focus on whatever task is at hand. This heightened clarity can lead to better decision-making, improved problem-solving skills, and a deeper sense of purpose in your daily life. Greater physical vitality. Sexual energy is life energy, and when you learn to harness it rather than constantly dissipating it, you'll find yourself feeling more energized, more alive. Many people who practice sexual transmutation report increased stamina, better health, and a more vibrant, youthful appearance. This is because you're not just conserving energy, you're recycling it, using it to fuel your body, mind, and spirit. Emotional balance. Emotions can be powerful, and sexual energy is often tied to some of our most intense feelings. By practicing sexual transmutation, you can gain greater control over your emotional life. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, far from it. It means learning to channel those emotions into constructive outlets, rather than letting them control you. This emotional balance can lead to healthier relationships, less stress, and a greater sense of inner peace. Spiritual growth. For many, sexual transmutation is not just about personal development, but spiritual evolution. By directing your sexual energy toward higher goals, you can deepen your connection with your inner self and the universe. This practice can lead to profound spiritual experiences, increased intuition, and a greater sense of oneness with all that is. Whether you follow a particular spiritual path or are simply seeking greater meaning in life, sexual transmutation can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth. Part 6. Common misconceptions about sexual transmutation. Now, let's address some common misconceptions. A lot of people hear about sexual transmutation and think it means you have to become celibate or give up sex altogether. But that's not the case at all. Sexual transmutation isn't about denying your desires, it's about redirecting them. You don't have to stop having sex to practice sexual transmutation. In fact, sex can be a beautiful, powerful way to connect with your partner and even channel energy into your goals if approached with mindfulness. The key is to be conscious of how you're using your energy. Are you dissipating it aimlessly, or are you using it to fuel your growth? Another misconception is that sexual transmutation is only for men or only for people who are highly sexual. Again, not true. Sexual transmutation is for everyone, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, or libido. Whether your sexual energy is strong or subtle, you can learn to harness it and use it to enhance your life. Finally, some people think that sexual transmutation is something mystical or esoteric that requires years of study. While it does take practice, it's actually quite simple at its core. It's about being mindful of your energy, learning to direct it where you want it to go, and using it to create the life you desire. I'm really curious, have you ever tried sexual transmutation? How has it impacted your life? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your experiences and answer any questions you might have. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more insights and wisdom. And hey, if you know someone who could benefit from this, share the video with them. Thanks for watching, and remember, true power comes from within. Use it wisely.